I've been waiting a long time to do this. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back, finally, to the Dark Avenger comic book review series. It's about damn time. Hello everybody, your Dark Avenger of YouTube, Chris here, and we are back. The Dark Avenger comic book review series is back, and hopefully now we are back on a consistent upload schedule for this series. However, because it's been a while, and I'm hoping this is the last time ever that I have to do a video like this, this episode is specially titled The Dark Avenger Comic Book Review Show Comic Recap. In this video, I'm going to recap all of the books that I am reading that will and won't show up on the show, because as you all know, I do a comic book haul series every single week. Some of the books I'm far behind on and need more time to catch up. Some books I just like to read in my leisure. Doesn't mean I won't do a review. Maybe if it's requested of me to do a comics and coffee or whatever, maybe I'll do a review of it. Or if it's requested to be on the show, maybe I'll add it to the show. And then, of course, there are the books that are on the show. So before we get into the list of books that will be here, one last time, let me reintroduce, for all of our new viewers, what the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review Show series, whatever you want to call it, is. This is the heart and soul of my channel, Dark Avenger Media, formerly known as Dark Avenger C86. Every week, I do a show talking about the comics I read in the previous week. Usually comics come out on Wednesday. I don't get them, unfortunately, till the end of the week, beginning of the weekend, and I try to get them all read and get the review up by Sunday, Monday, the latest. I'm working on changing that. There are ideas I have for the future, hopefully the near future, all depending on when and how. So hopefully the reviews might actually start coming out earlier, just like the haul videos will be coming out earlier. It all depends on situation and if I get everything lined up just right. It might take some time to get there, but until we do, this show is for the books that came out in the previous week. When things change, you all will know as soon as I know. So, the books in this review, I like to take all the books I read in the previous week, and I will be doing a brief overview of each book, share my thoughts on the book, what I think of what's going on in the book, share whether I liked or didn't like it, and then move on. It used to be on this show that I went a bit more in-depth with my comic book reviews. Now that we have other shows on the channel, like Comics and Coffee, like the 60-second reviews, Comics and Coffee, I go into very deep detail, literally from front page to back page, start to end of the comic. 60-second reviews are literally taking a book and reviewing it within 60 seconds, so it's kind of like a lightning review. This show is in between both. It's not super in-depth, but it's not a lightning review either. I'll take more time to talk about the book, but I'm not going from beginning to end unless it's a special book. But then again, if it's a special book, more than likely it'll end up on Comics and Coffee. And if you'd like to see me do a more in-depth review or a 60-second review of any book you see on this show, you are welcome in the comment section below to ask for it. If I have the time, I have no problem delivering an extra review for people who want to hear a either more in-depth or a lightning review of whatever book it is. So, brief discussion and thoughts on books. Most of the time when it comes to my least favorite to my most favorite, the way I line my books up is from company to company, independent, DC, Marvel, or sometimes Marvel, DC. I flip Marvel and DC around, but usually the very first book I review is my least favorite, and then when we get to the end of the list, that is my most favorite. Unless there's an event, usually I leave event books for last when it comes to companies. But you'll know, by the way I talk about the event book, where it would lie. I don't do a top 5 or top anything on these reviews. I cover everything all at once. And believe me, you will know whether I like a book or I don't like a book and why. I do try to make sure that point is across. And what this review show really is meant for is you. I do these reviews because I love sharing my hobby, which this is, comic books are my love, my passion, and my hobby. This is something I've been doing since I was 11 years old, reading and talking about comic books. This show is meant to help all of you make better decisions or make a decision about a book, a series, an event. Sometimes people like to hear what other people think of books before they go off and buy a book. And then sometimes some people want to hear what other people think of a book, whether they liked it too, didn't like it, why. I used to be somewhere in between. Nowadays, I like watching reviews to see if reviewers agree or disagree with what my thoughts on a book are and why, to give me a better idea, because I don't think everything's perfect, but I don't think everything is doom and gloom either. And that is another reason why I'm trying so hard to get this channel back up off the ground, because there are becoming more and more channels talking about how bad things are instead of spotlighting some of the good as well. We're here to talk about the hobby, the good, the bad, and the in-between, because there's everything in between. And also, it is to kind of spotlight comics again in the way they should be spotlighted. That's why I love doing this show and all the other shows you will see on this channel, as well as a podcast that I am, as we speak, working on, talking about why I'm bringing the channel. That the first episode is going to be why I brought my channel back and why it's taken so long. It has been a long journey, and you will see from episode 501 to 531, it was a lot of couple of episodes and then a long break, couple of episodes, a long break. It was a hard 5 years to get back to where we are today, and I'm hoping in history, looking back, as we get to episode 1000, because that is my goal, is to get to 1000 and beyond Dark Avenger comic book review episodes. I'm hoping that when we get to episode 1000, looking back, yes, episode 501 to 531, it was a rough patch, but from 532 onward, the consistency came back and the channel started to grow once again, and the reviews got back to where they belonged. So, with the reviews being talked about, let's talk about the books you will be seeing on the reviews. So, I'm doing this the way I always do it. We're going to start with the independents. Right now, on the review, Space Ghost has been a series I have been very much enjoying. You will be seeing Space Ghost on this review. This group of books I'm behind on, and I will try to catch up on at some point to get them into this review. Spawn, King Spawn, Gunslinger, Scorched, and Rat City. All of these are ongoing series in the Spawn universe. I love Spawn. I love the spin-offs. There's a mini-series going on. There's a Sam and Twitch mini-series going on. The Violator just started his mini-series. I'm very far behind on this, because it went from just being one series now to 4 plus Rat City. So it's going to take me some time. I might skip a story arc and just jump in when there's a good jumping on point, because usually the books are all connected. So Spawn might take a minute to get here, but I do love the Spawn series. The covers are amazing also. This should surprise no one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Volume 1 ended this past spring, I want to say, but Volume 2 literally just started. Issue 2 was just released, I believe, in September. We're getting ready for Issue 3. You know, TMNT is going to be on this channel. There is also going to be a Power Rangers. I didn't put it on this list, but I did find out when I did my previews. There is going to be a Power Ranger series that starts up in December. It is a out of continuity. We are doing something kind of like they even said it's going to be like the Ultimate Universe of comics or of Power Rangers. I said, okay, we're doing an Ultimate Universe, something different, something that breaks the continuity. We're going to try it. So I got the first issue. I'll probably get the second, third. I'll probably get the first arc. And we will see where that goes. But that, too, will be on the review. G.I. Joe has 2 books now. There is G.I. Joe, which is coming out in December, the first issue, and G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Both of those will be here along with the other two Energon books, Void Rivals and Transformers. All three, well, four now because there's two G.I. Joe books. All four will be here on the reviews. There'll be one a week probably. And then finally, Zenescope. I put Zenescope because Zenescope has a bunch of books. Now, something's happened to my email, and I used to work with Zenescope. I've tried to reach out with them. Maybe it's convention season, maybe they haven't heard. So I'm going to continue to try to reach out to them, but till then, I am still reading and getting a bunch of their books. So on and off, we'll have some Zenescope books, depending on if I can get my hands on them. And that's it for Independence. Will there be more? Absolutely. If I can get more, there are other miniseries coming out. Believe me. There's I forgot Night Stalker is a miniseries that's coming out of TMNT. I believe that one's only on issue 2. We'll do that. And then there's also the Nation book, which is starting up. So we got a couple of TMNT minis coming out soon also. DC Comics is a red herring right now. As we speak, the first week of October's books have come out. I am trying every single book that is in the All-In brand. So any book that is with a new story arc or a jumping on point, I will be trying. So DC Comics, out of everything here, is going to be the biggest question mark. Because if I like Batman, I will continue Batman. If I like Detective, I'll continue Detective. If I don't like something, I'm not going to continue it past the first issue. However, I'm trying every single book's first issue in All In. Yeah, that made sense. Miniseries-wise, I'm reading any miniseries that's coming out right now when it comes to Superman, when it comes to Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, Kryptonian, I'm reading that. And then there's also Batman, Dark Knights of Steel, All Winter. I am reading that as well. Absolute Power just ended. However, the last issue is on the first week of October. I will be covering the last issue. I've been up to date with what's going on with the event, so I will be here from the end of Absolute Power through. So we'll see what books I decide to keep reading after Absolute Power. However, there are books I've already reading, and those are Action Comics, Superman, Batman, Superman. This should surprise none of you. I've been with Superman since episode 1 of the Dark Avenger comic book review series. The only time I ended up dropping Superman was during the New 52 when things got really bad for about 4 to 5 months. And then during the Brian Michael Bendis, God, what the hell is going on, little saga, I think I dropped or I stopped talking about a couple of books until we got away from that. And there was good reason for it. And then Nightwing. I am reading Nightwing. Nightwing's been a fun series for me. I've been enjoying it. So those are definite. Everything else we're going to be doing every single week. I believe they're releasing 4 all-in books. So every single week we'll see which books are going to be dropped and which books are going to be not. Marvel, however, right now is in the middle of an event. They're in the middle of Venom Wars. So I am reading everything Venom Wars right now because I enjoyed Blood Hunt. So I said, let's try Venom Wars. Why not? And we got Time Slipper that's going to be dropping its one-shot in December. So I said, why not? Venom Wars is going to go till December. Gave me something to read. It's giving me an event to read from Marvel. Anything Deadpool, I'm reading. So Deadpool team-ups, both of those I'm grabbing. X-Men books. So X-Men have just restarted. For those of you that don't know, X-Men rebranded from the ashes. So there's X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, NYX or Nyx, however you want to say it. Exceptional X-Men. Oh God, they released a lot of books. There's some solo books. Wolverine, Storm, Jean Grey. Dazzler has a miniseries. Sentinels are getting a miniseries. Mystique is getting a miniseries. Sabretooth is getting a, I think, miniseries. Anyway, anything X-Men related, because it is such a perfect jumping, it was a couple of months ago, a perfect jumping on point. I have been reading the books. I'm sticking with all of them for now. Once we get into like all the books and we get further along, that's when we'll see if the books stay or they don't. Or maybe Marvel will cancel some. You know Marvel's going to cancel a couple. There are way too many X-Men books for Marvel not to say, okay, We released all these books. Now we got to cut some. Moon Knight. I've been loving the Moon Knight series. Whether it be a miniseries, the ongoing series, whatever. Moon Knight is definitely a series that is going to be sticking with this show. Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man. Both. I am enjoying Ultimates. Ultimates is leading into a huge event in the Ultimate Universe come this time, I think, not next year. It's in 2 years. They have everything planned out for 2 years, and then we'll see what happens from there. But 2 years. Ultimate Spider-Man, a lot of people use the excuse of, well, Peter Parker's married to Mary Jane and they have kids there. It's a huge plus for me. And again, I don't agree with what Marvel says about Amazing Spider-Man. I don't agree with the higher-ups, how they insist now that they're never going to marry Peter Parker again. But when it comes to Ultimate Spider-Man, it was a fun take. Spider-Man was not Spider-Man when he was a teenager. He got his powers in his 30s instead of in his teens. And I find it interesting. And again, I'm finding the Ultimate Universe interesting. The only books I'm not reading are Ultimate Black Panther, because I have no interest in Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men, because quite frankly, it's not X-Men, in my opinion. So, those are the only 2 books I'm not reading, and I'm sure there are going to be other Ultimate books as we move along. But, for right now, Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man are the 2 books that are my mainstay books. Now, speaking of Amazing Spider-Man, as of the recording of this video, is in its last 2 issues with the it's in its last 2 issues for this run. And then we're getting a new creative team. Once again, Ed McGuinness is going to be doing probably just the first arc and then walking away. Again, Ed McGuinness's artwork is amazing. However, I guess his ability to stay consistent is harder, so he goes from arc to arc. So I'll be trying the first story arc of Amazing Spider-Man out. Regardless of agreeing with Marvel or disagreeing, I do like to try when new series get new teams, new jumping on points. Whether it stays after the first story arc, that is up to the creative team that's on Amazing Spider-Man. I am not a completionist when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man. I can take or leave Amazing Spider-Man whenever. I've dropped the book multiple times for multiple different reasons, multiple different teams, multiple different stupid ideas that have come along. I truly think Marvel is never going to get Spider-Man back to exactly where he needs to be until they break that stupid rule that they created back in the early 2000s. But beside the point, Spider-Man as a series, we will see. I'm also reading Spider-Gwen 100%. I'm reading all the Spider-Man miniseries that are coming out right now. So Spider Society, Chasm, The Curse of Cain, which is a 4-issue mini with Scarlet Spider, of course. I'm going to read Cain and Ben. Hopefully Ben getting his memories back. Superior Spider-Man, I knew was coming out, and now I don't see it anymore. I'm guessing it ended silently, possibly. I don't know. This was all going on while I was away. So I was reading Superior Spider-Man. I don't see Superior Spider-Man anymore. Miles Morales Spider-Man, I will be trying that one out. I believe next month is a jumping on point, especially after what's been going on with Blood Hunt. So I'll be trying that out. I don't know if Werewolf by Night is an ongoing or a mini. I was under the impression it was a mini. Apparently it's not, possibly, so I am reading that book as well. The first issue shocked me. Second issue just came out last month, so I've been enjoying it. Blade is coming out with a red band. I believe it's a miniseries. I'll be grabbing that. You'll be seeing a bunch of different books showing up. Again, this is a list of books I've been reading up until this point. There are definitely more books. If you've been watching the live shows, and now that I'm only doing Dark Avenger Live once a month, there will be a preview series starting up where I look through previews in a video. You will know exactly what books I'm reading each and every month. When it comes to Marvel and DC. Independence, again, there is a buffet of books every single week to try out when it comes to the Independents. So expect anything and everything when it comes to the Independents. Marvel and DC, it all depends on what's going on and my enjoyment. So that was your recap. Hopefully we will get episode 532 out soon. I know that this video is probably going to go up in the beginning of the second week of October. My books are shipping late, of course. The 1 week I need them to be here on time. The first week of October's books ship late, probably because of the holiday. I'm going to try to get the review out, even if I have to do my books digitally. If they don't make it here on time, kind of do the review and then have the haul video, just because I do want to get these reviews out and I don't want to fall behind again. This is why September's books, if you didn't hear on Twitter, I'll mention it here, I'm not doing a review for September's books. We're already in October. I decided to make the the executive decision to make episode 532 for the first week of October 2024, and we will consistently move forward from there. So we're starting with October's books instead of September's books. If you saw a book in my haul video for September, I'm reading it, I'm liking it, and either it'll be on the show or it's something I'm still fighting to catch up on, if that helps at all. But anyway, this video has gone on way longer than I anticipated, so this was your recap. Look forward to episode 532 very soon, I hope. Till then, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Links in the description below for all social media and all other places where you can find me. Definitely check them out. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you hit that sub button. This way I'm in your subscription box and you don't miss out on a single video, because there are a lot of videos that are going to be pumping out of this channel weekly. Comment below your thoughts, any books I didn't mention that you'd like to see on the review, any books I'm reading that you are reading and you're looking forward to hearing my thoughts on. Till then, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I will see all of you really soon in the next video.